very good morning to viewers all across the world. Welcome to your Poetic Intro on the Weekend Show. My name is Emeka Ozurumba, and what a lovely conversation just been on the political segment. And we're going to continue that conversation because I have a book with me here titled Local Government Autonomy in Nigeria, a Misconstrued Contradiction under the Federal Constitution, written by Uche Okocha. Good morning, Uche.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Okay. What inspired you to write this book, Local Government Autonomy in Nigeria, a Misconstrued Contradiction under the Federal Constitution?
Thank you. In the first place, without prejudice to the generality of all the statements, opinions that have been made so far on local government by authorities and persons, and this book is a personal opinion predicated on the relevant laws, facts, cogent and verifiable facts, and credible facts too. Talking about what inspired me to write this book, in exercise of my right as a citizen of Nigeria to contribute to see that we have good governance and sustainable development at the local government level, which is the proximate government to the local people, to everybody, not just to me, because all of us come from a local government.
I meant so, all of us.
Yes, exactly. So I think local government, and that is what it takes, should be taken very seriously, very, very seriously, because when we get local government right, we'll get Nigeria right. So at the local government, it is expected that we have good governance and sustainable development elicited by participatory democracy and efficient services. So in the course of conversations going on about local government, I engaged even leaders and the general public on both formal and informal conversations. So I discovered that a lot of us have misconstrued the issues revolving around local government, especially that of what they call local government autonomy. So I said, this is my area of research, so I better put the things I know about it in a book so that Nigerians can read and equip themselves with the right knowledge to tackle the problem.
Okay, that's why you wrote your book.
Exactly.
Okay, I want to say something. In Nigeria, the word autonomy, autonomous, is not autonomous. That word is misconstrued also because, for instance, let me give you an instance. We have a word like independent, in Independent National Electoral Commission, but yet that word independent is not independent. That word is not autonomous because if a president still has the right to elect resident commissioners who are going to play key functions in an election, that election is not autonomous, and that word independent in INEC is not independent. So what do you say about the word autonomy or autonomous as you used it in your book in reference to what you mean about local government?
Sorry, thank you very much. Generally, if you consult sources like maybe dictionary, the Advanced Learner's Dictionary, Black's Law Dictionary, I'm a law researcher, I consult Black's Law Dictionary.
I know about Webster's Dictionary
yes,
too.
Yeah. So you will see that autonomy is all about political freedom, okay? Negation of influence, okay? Negation of influence, freedom from intervention from external force, or freedom from even contribution from external force. That is on a general sense. But talking about the way I used it in my book, my opinion may not be a very popular one among Nigerians, but that is the correct opinion because we operate a federal constitution, okay? We cannot have the way it is construed. That's why I say in that book, misconstrued. The way it is construed by Nigerians in the real sense of autonomy is impracticable under a federal constitution. Because why am I saying this? Local government ab initio from the very beginning is a subordinate government. It cannot be independent from day one. You will remember that initially local government was just like an appendage, an agency of the state. It was in 1979 through the Constitution Drafting Committee that came up with a novel request. And during the Constituent Assembly, a bill was moved to incorporate local government into the Constitution and with other ancillary requests. But that committee did not adopt the other requests. Rather, they only gave local government, they wore it a constitutional cloak and gave it a constitutional status. Okay, so that nobody can wake up one day and say,
Yeah,
I want to scrap off local government from my state. But that said, it does not bring local government to a status of autonomy in the sense Nigerians are taking it. And that is why we are having the imbroglio. We are having the conundrum of effectuating what we're expecting, because what we're expecting is actually imaginary. It is unrealistic and impractical.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Yes.
Let me ask a question now, because this is my final question. If we're talking about local government autonomy, right?
Yes.
We're talking about trying to give them free will to do what they want, not just financially,
Yes.
but also, let's say, in a capacitation kind of form.
Yes.
So let me put it this way. If the president now has direct access to the local government chairman,
Yes.
can he not infiltrate their will? Perhaps like in River State, as everybody's looking at in this kind of
Yes.
contraption as
Yes.
it is, we could see that there were fracases within the state assembly before it
Yes.
now went to a state level, and now it's even in a national level.
Yes.
That they even had to get somebody to be put there that is
Yes.
not from the state and all.
Yes.
So don't you think that it's a manipulative kind of way that this law can actually that the Supreme Court passed can actually be used?
What you asked is a very salient and fundamental question. Okay?
Yes.
Because if you look at it, ab initio, or on the face of it, prima facie, local government is not a part of the federation. It is a constituent and component part of the state. If you look at the 1999 Constitution, Section 2, Sub 2, recognize only the 36 states and the FCT as components of the federation, not the local government. So if you have a situation where the federal government is now trying to deal directly with the local government,
is an abridge of the law.
it is an aberration. It is repugnant and at variance with constitutional federalism. Are you getting it? So yes, that is the point. So what happens if they do that? What we have is what I would call quasi-unitary constitution, imposition of quasi-unitary constitution in lieu of a federal constitution. So, and that will plunge the country into an imbroglio constitutionally. So that is the challenge.
Okay. Can you tell us where your book can be gotten? I just want to get your book.
The book has not been unveiled in the public.
Okay.
Okay, for now it has not been unveiled. So, but I hope to be here again.
Okay.
So that that question can be correctly answered.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir. Thank you.
Uche Okocha, a very nice conversation about local government autonomy in Nigeria, and I just want to say thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I do appreciate your voice.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, my lovely viewers all across the world, I hope you have enjoyed watching your Poetic Interlude on the Weekend Show. I've just been with Uche Okocha talking about local governments and talking about conversations that need to be said. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned because we have more.